Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to draw a mouth. And just like the eyes, the mouth is not simply just a bunch of nice blended shading. It's a lot of lines that you don't really think about. Now, I've already got all the outline done. We've already talked about that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make a mouth look like a mouth. The first thing you want to do with this picture in particular is you want to go ahead and fill a hard line under his top teeth. And you want to do that because there's a lot of empty space behind those teeth. It goes into the inside of his mouth, which you can't really see a lot of, and it just looks dark. So I'm actually kind of guessing where the lines of these teeth are a little bit. But I would imagine it's a pretty good guess. And you want to make sure these particular lines are nice and dark, really black. I'm actually going to shorten my lead here just a teensy bit. I had it out because I was doing some shading. As you can see, I was working on the other eye. And it's really, really important that you kind of measure out and get a nice, comfortable feeling of where the teeth are before you do this. Because you pretty much get one shot when you're going this dark. And you're going to want to go ahead and shade in this lip here. Go ahead and give it not a completely black line, not as dark as the shading, but still pretty black. And there's a bottom tooth here you want to draw in. And it's pretty small. And then starting from just past here, you're going to see the bottom of his bottom row of teeth, and it's just slight. There's not a whole lot to them. So we're going to go ahead and draw those in. And there's the hint of a tooth right here. And I mean just a hint of a tooth. Now in the front of the lips, you don't want to go completely black. You want to go really dark, but not completely black, like the teeth. The only exception is to the very left here, there's a nice big shadow, and to the very right. Other than that, you don't really want to go too dark. So we're just going to go ahead and add in these really dark lines here. Now we want to go ahead and fill in this whole black area as dark as we can. And this is going to give us that nice contrast between where the teeth meet the empty space in the mouth. And I am actually, like I said, I am kind of guessing at where some of these teeth should be lined, so I hope it looks right. I think I got everything kind of spaced well, but you never know until you're finished, honestly. Sometimes I really got to get down there and quite literally get into my work. All right. So if you look at the picture, you've got a tooth right here. Kind of comes out. You got another one behind it that does actually kind of a wide curve. And then a final one that seems to come almost straight down. So what you want to do is you want to get pitch black right past that last tooth. And we're going to kind of do the same thing on the other side. We're going to measure out the teeth. This one curves way back in. The one behind it has this nice little bulge but seems to come straight down after that. And then you have a couple of teeth that are kind of half gum and half tooth. They just kind of pop out at the bottom here. So we're going to cut this off at the end, make this nice little round space, and then we're going to slightly shade the gum from incredibly dark to still dark, but not quite as dark. And then we just want to blend it in. Now this is going to give us our entire set of teeth. We are good to go there. We don't really need to concentrate on that anymore just yet. We got what we need. So what we need to do after that is separate the lips from the rest of the skin around the mouth. And the way you do that is the lips are always going to be a little bit darker. So what I do is I give myself a nice even layer around the entirety of the lips. We're going to do that top and bottom. Now I'm sure some of you are going to look at the photo and be like, hey Kevin, there's a whole lot of light there that you're just drawing all the way over. Well, like I've said, there's no such thing as an empty canvas. Skin covers everything. So you want to draw the skin on just like it's really there. And when you have light reflection, you draw that on also. I use an eraser and I actually draw in the shine. And it's really important to do that, I think, because it gives it a little bit more of a realistic look at the end. Alright, so there's your light once over. Here's the trick about lips. A lot of people will shade, but they won't take the time to get the lips right and actually draw in all the little crevices that it takes to form a pair of lips. Because the lips do have a lot of crevices. And so to make it look realistic, you really need these in. Otherwise it looks very cartoony. Now in this particular picture you don't see them that well, and that does make it easier. Some of them you can see though, so they need to be there. Alright, so you start from the bottom, the very corner of the mouth I should say. And it's essentially going to go dark to light. And it's actually going to get light fairly quickly. There's not a lot of shadow in the back of these. And as you can see, going over the lips again, now these lines aren't so apparent everything's getting darker, but the lines that you made aren't really the focus anymore. They're just hints of a crevice there. And that's what you're going for. You're going for a nice even feel here. And now what I'm going to do, so I'm going to go ahead and take my brush and just blend that in. Now you're going to do the same thing on the underside. And what I'm going to do, start out, find the line here. And these lines honestly aren't really that bad. They're really not. It's literally just a matter of finding out where they go. I'm just going to add some extra lines in here because when you blend it together, it's going to have, like I said, a more natural look to it. And you'll notice you stay darker up by the teeth. When you're shading the lips, you kind of shade darker up top and a little bit lighter toward the bottom. And we're going to do the same thing. Get this brush. We're going to blend it all together. Now the places you want the darkest lines are honestly wherever something ends. So that would be the edge of the lips. That would be near the teeth. Because it's showing a separation between two parts of the face. Now you have the majority of the mouth already intact. Now you have these very light shades of pink gumline. So you want to very, very lightly draw in the gumline under the teeth. And honestly, with this particular portrait, the gum line and the teeth are really, really close together in color. So we have a very, very light line that separates the teeth now. And I do mean very light. And they're all going to have a slight shadow. Now as you get back to the back teeth, that shadow is going to be a lot more prominent. So right here, for example, we have to do some extra shading to get the shadow to look right on these teeth. And that gives it the illusion that there is a little shadow there, a little depth perception. And then we have a couple more teeth to do on this other side here. And honestly, thankfully, there's not really too much as far as shadow until you get to the very back couple of teeth. Okay. So there you have the lips. And I still want to darken this up a little bit. In the picture he's got kind of very rosy lips, so definitely want to accentuate that. And for his mouth, he's really got a lot of stash there, which in a lot of ways makes it pretty easy. You just kind of draw on the stash. He's got a couple of parts where it separates. Most people do. The great thing about Seamus is his stash is actually pretty full, which is pretty nice, to be very honest, to draw. And I tend to draw in a stash just with a lot of quick flicks of the wrist. I keep it kind of like what it would actually look like, which is a lot of hairs collectively thrown together. And just kind of make them meet in the middle. So that's the basic concept of drawing the mouth. I'll work on the hair a lot more later, but it gives you the idea of what you need to do. The big thing is getting the teeth aligned right and the lips shaded right. And I'm going to come back in when this is all done and show you how to do the erasing for the shine on everything. And you will know how to draw a face. My name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged Review. I will talk to you later.